Casino employees of Reddit. What is the worst you have ever seen someone handle a loss? 1. I was security at a casino for a few years. Saddest story for me was this older gentleman, let's call him Tom for privacy's sake. Tom would frequent the casino every day, spending anywhere from $200 to $300. I had striked up lots of conversations with him because he was a regular and he was genuinely kind person who I enjoyed seeing. One day Tom comes in and I can tell he is upset. I don't make anything of it. But after seeing the guy for a few years almost every day, that day he looked really off, so a couple hours go by and I track him down and ask how's the day going. Any big wins? Just general chit chat. He starts sobbing, tears running down his face. His wife had passed away from sudden cardiac death is what I believe he called it, the night before. And he was devastated. We talked for quite a while. I tried comforting him while he played the machines. I had noticed he was betting extremely large, $200, $300 per spin on the slot machine. I knew that was a lot for him. But I didn't say anything because it's not my business and I was sure it's a coping mechanism for him at the moment. Doing something he loved when he just lost the love of his life. Hours later I see him heading out the door. I run up to him, catch him and wish him all the best and that I'll see him soon. He smiled, said thanks for the chat and thank you for the condolences and left. He booked a room in our hotel and ended himself that night. A little while later I find out through some other staff who were sort of friends of his family that he had spent all of his money, every dime that evening, spinning high limit on the machines. I'm assuming because he wanted a little enjoyment before he took his life. Still makes me upset I didn't invite him over or do anything else because I knew he was in pain. 2. One guy was so angry at his losses that he took 200 quarters, cut them in half, taped one side, and proceeded to put them in various slot machines. Once they entered the machine, it would jam it up. 3. Worked as a security guard on night shift. The biggest losers are in a fantasy land where they don't even notice. Never actually saw addicts get worried about the future. 4. Former table dealer here. I've had drunk guys tell me I'm the worst dealer ever. I would just reply, have a nice day. The other people at the table were usually on my side. I have had higher rollers slam the table with their fist or not react at all to losing thousands. The worst and the saddest one that sticks in my mind is a guy who was down to $1,000 on blackjack. He was nice. He was tipping pretty well. I was rooting for him, as I tended to do. I knocked his tens for good luck. Then he lost a big one and just yelled so loud that the entire casino must have heard it. It was the kind of desperation in his voice and everything about him that told me he could not afford to lose as much as he just lost. He went to the bank machine, and I rotated to another table. It was things like that, the goddamn smoke in my face, sleep deprivation from the late nights that led me to get out of there. A lot of other unpleasant moments too, but they all blur together. Money was nice, but it was not for me. 5. A gentleman at a poker table in the 5 seat unzipped his pants and urinated on the dealer. I never caught the signal the dealer used, but it was effective as all the guys who normally collect boxes from the tables show up out of nowhere and removed him from the table like they were taking out the trash. Table broke up so they could clean, dealer showered and put on a new uniform, and I saw her on the floor again a few hours later. 6. Not a casino employee, but just the other day my father-in-law watched an elderly lady lose everything at a poker table and then go around and steal a couple people's purses. When they confronted her and asked for identification, she wouldn't give it to them because they weren't the police. When the police arrived, she still wouldn't give them her identification or even her name, saying they couldn't arrest her if they didn't know who she was. Needless to say, they arrested her. The last thing the cop asked her was, "Are you at least going to cooperate and walk out with us to the car, or are you going to do it the hard way?"